Hey guys, my name is Hashim Ahmad and welcome to this hack project tutorial. In this video, we'll be building an application that lets you blog, but instead of writing text content in your blog, we'll be recording audios. And we'll be using bubble.is and using this template from Dot Studios called Music Library, the link to which you can find in the description below. And this is kind of what it looks like. You can add your audios here. This is what the template looks like, but instead of asking the user to upload these audios, we're going to allow the user to customize this page as much as we can offer them, and we're going to let them record the whole audio within the application itself. And we're going to do this for the web. If you have no prior experience with Bubble, please go to the link in the description below to go to my Skillshare tutorial. But we're going to use this template. Just click on use this template, go to my apps, click on a new app, and then start this. Again, there's a link to my Skillshare tutorial course that you can take and then come back here because I'm going to be moving a little faster. So I'm going to call this application maybe vlogger, because this is going to be a voice-based vlog. Again, this template is from Dot Studios. Go check that out. You can pause this video and check them out again. Again, all credit to them because it's going to make my work a lot faster. Maybe, yeah, I'm just going to keep this as it is. So let's start by creating and pushing this front page to account page, because on the front page you want the user to be able to sign in and sign up. So I'm going to push this and clone this page to another page called account page, and on the welcome page, let's not do the welcome page. Um, let's start removing the parts that we don't think are necessary. So in this index page, we're going to remove everything and we're going to add the sign in and sign up part. So I'm just going to add a group here. The first part is going to be housing the sign in and the sign up. And so this is the standard stuff that you're being used to. So I'm just going to make this look a little better. And while I'm at this, I just want to say, um, so why were we doing this? It kind of, this project sounds a little bit like podcast, but it's not a podcast creation tool. This is more like, okay, you can have a dedicated page for yourself. Again, this video is going to be looking at how can you create an the main core application where you can record audios and upload them onto your Bubble application. What we're not going to do is we're not going to be creating the site builder itself, the full form, because one of the things about site builder is that you should be able to customize it and make it look like your own website. If you want to give your users the ability to do that, I actually have a video on how to make a site builder. You should go check that out. While I'm doing this, if you guys are not able to follow what I'm doing on the screen, a good idea is to go check my Skillshare tutorial out, because these are standard stuff. I'm just adding a text box there, a button there, and what I'm doing is I'm just using the existing template components. Not much. I'm just going to be yeah, and by the way, this profile, the profile or the site that people create on this will be, people will be able to share this, and maybe you can allow the user to even download the audios that people create with this site. So the first one is going to be for login. I'm just going to start creating the workflow for it. I'm just going to use the login workflow and plug in those two fields. So emails value and passwords value. So moving along, or maybe you can say remember the email is yes, because you can change that from the web browser later. I'm just going to duplicate this by Control C or Command C plus V, whether you're on Mac or Windows. This one is going to be for sign up, except it's going to be very similar fields, except now what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple of extra fields to let the user add his profile picture and his name as well, because again, Bubble needs your email to authenticate. You can't use usernames. So I'm just going to pull this aside, pull this down to give some room for other fields. And I'm going to just change the hint text to what I want them to do. So your email and your password. So I'm going to pull this down there. Um, and also make sure that the fields are using the correct content format. So if it's a password field, make sure it's a password format. On the placeholder, I'm going to change this to name, and make sure down, as you see there, you can see content format is email. In the video, I'm just okay. I've just skipped that part. Make sure you don't skip that. Again, I'm gonna revisit that part later now. So I'm gonna add also a picture, not image exactly, a picture uploader, so the user can upload his profile picture. And there you go. So um, again, I'm not able to see what there is no visual feedback there. Like I can't see anything. So let me just make configure this UI component and make it look. At least let me see something. Okay, I'm gonna add a border here, and since the background is dark, I'm gonna add a white color. And let's see over here. Still don't see anything much, right? So let's pull this on the front. Maybe it's oh yeah, there you see. You see the background. I'm sorry, the border, but you can't see the text yet. Um, what's the reason behind it? I'm not really sure. Let's increase the font size. Maybe it's just too small. I don't think so, but yeah, let's see that. Um, everything else looks okay. Transitions and conditions does not. Oh my god, that's too big. So let's maybe make this a little smaller. That's also too small. That's too big actually. Um, upload a profile picture. It's okay. It's just a thing. Well, let's make this a little smaller because it just stands out too much. Okay, that looks okay. No? I think you can configure the settings and make this look a little better. So, because this product doesn't have a brand name, I'm just going to add a heading on the top and be done with the index page. I think I still have to create the sign up workflow. Um, so you can do that. And once you, oh yeah, by the way, let's go to the sign up workflow and do that. While we're doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to have the account page. We're going to basically duplicate that page again for the profile or the main site page. And every user is going to have a site, a website, or yeah, a blog, whatever you want to call it, a vlog or whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, so one thing that's missing here is the full name field, so I'm going to add that to the user field. And I'm also going to add the profile picture since that's also not there. The type is image, single value, and name also is a text again. So, and yeah, sign the user up using those two values and add those additional fields there. So basically, from the site thing, you're not going to be able to add audios, obviously, because you can add articles or like you can add articles to other people's blogs. So here I'm going to say when the user is logged in, I'm going to throw them to the account page. So that way, I'm going to send the current user, which is the person who's logged in. So here in the page format, when I'm going to the account page, I'm going to say the type of the content is user, and that the other step is not necessary, but I just did that. So now we're in the account page, which is the part where the user will be able to add stuff. I'm going to remove all the unnecessary crap that I don't need. So I'm going to remove the social pages are not necessary. Those backgrounds and stuff are not necessary. Um, okay, so now over here, I'm going to say the repeating group is going to be showing all the audios or all the values that I created. So I'm going to say created by is equal to current user. So basically that's saying, okay, well, only show the audios that I created. So since this is the home screen, I'm going to say, I'm going to display a greeting there, say welcome, whatever is your name. So my name is Hasher, so I'll say welcome Hasher. I'm going to remove that social page because that's not necessary. And in this plus button is where the actual thing is. But we also need one more field if you want to allow the user to to actually customize their settings or like their profile picture and name and whatnot. You actually need that, but I'm not doing that because well, I've already done how to make a site builder before tutorial. The link to that tutorial will be in the link in the description below. But yeah, I'm gonna say you can search for these recordings. These are not really a music site, so you can also create a Spotify kind of an app using this. So yeah, so I'm gonna create a new profile. You can call this website because yeah, actually they're creating a website. I'm gonna clone the same page that I'm editing now, but we're not gonna have a couple of features. Well, I'm gonna delete the add field because you don't want the people to be able to add from the profile field because this is going to be the page that other people are also going to be able to see. So here we're going to say search records, not search your recording. Now on this page, you're going to display the name of the persons, so whoever is the thing. So we're going to say current page user's name. So the name of the current page will be coming, whoever is the person reference, we're going to pass it from the URL, from the link, or from the from other pages. Okay, so when the user is logged in the account page, we don't want the users who are logged out or the people who have not signed up to access this page. So we're going to throw them back to the index page if they are not logged in. But that's not the case with the profile page. I'm sorry if this looks very similar. Now we're going to say we're going to display all the recordings for the profile page to be show all the recordings from the current page user. Again, current page user is defined from the URL or from the previous pages. I'm going to remove all these conditions, like the extra conditions that come with the repeating group, because it show a lot of errors, and all these are coming from the components I deleted. So you can delete all these conditions actually, except for the search option. Like you can just copy this, okay? So it's gonna be like this. The condition there is just saying that if there is if the user has typed in some search query, then you want to change the search. You want to define the repeating list data source to view all the recordings from that contain the value that are in that input box. Now we're going to add the audio recorder component. Again, you want to make sure you are viewing all the components, or yeah, maybe. So you want to search for a recorder. Now there's one by Bubble themselves. It's called Audio Recorder and Visualizer. Just install this if it's not installed already, and you can add that. So just go to the pop-up where the user will be able to and add this recording. Over here you can see that it's actually a file uploader. I don't need this because this is a everybody will be able to record this. I don't have to ask the user to enter this. If you want, you can say, is it a music or a blog or whatever. This template actually does a lot. So over here you can see the type and all that is saved. I don't really need to keep track of what type of file it is. Um, Over here it has a icon here. Now you can see a bunch of conditions that are there. It's saying when the file is uploading, you want to change the icon and all that. The file uploader itself is actually an invisible component. I think so. Yeah, so that's just an icon that triggers that particular component. I'm going to change this to a record icon because I'm going to be using a record tool and not a and not really a. Okay, I'm gonna make this really red. Well, I think it just pops out too much, but so I'm just gonna change this and bring it back to that color. Maybe make this round thing as a rectangle, as a red color. Now, instead of uploading a file, I'm gonna allow the user to add the audio recorder. Now, audio recorder itself is actually an invisible component. The user will not be able to see this. So it's okay. You can align this. You can say it should not be visible. So I'm gonna say background color is none. Now what we're going to do is on the workflow, when the user clicks on this button, we're going to trigger the audio recorder. So I'm going to say from the workflow, I'm going to delete all these things that are there in the thing. When the user clicks on this icon, from the elements actions, say audio recorder is start. Okay. So this will start recording the video, and when we trigger that condition, it will do that. There are a couple of conditions that where you can say when the audio recording has started. You can say when audio recording is now recording, we can change this particular icon to say stop icon, so that the next button will stop it. So the same button is used to stop and start the recording accordingly. So this is just a button, but yeah, you can also change the color to maybe something like blue, because stop is not really recording. Normally red button is associated with the recording stuff. So yeah, that's the button that will trigger stop and start recording. Now once you stop it, the recording is located there. We want to remove this condition there because that's not necessary. Well, that condition comes from the previous one. We want to execute this workflow as and when the button is clicked. So here, this is some caption text. You can also add a paragraph and stuff. But because this is a voice blogging client, which means that the content is delivered with voice, We just want to allow the user to enter some title, but then again, it's all up to you. You can also add a paragraph stuff. I think everything is okay. I just added some hint text there, and let's change this title of this pop-up to maybe let's say record a new voice note. So it's not really a song. Maybe it could be a song, not necessary, but let's say it's voice note for now. Um, because maybe if you're recording music, you probably would go to Spotify. Just saying, maybe you're doing a cappella here. So one thing is the voice is there, but now we need to save that audio to the database so that we can actually use this information on our profiles and whatnot. So when the add button is clicked, now the audio recording, the file is there, so we just want to save that information onto the database. So we do just that. Now we will go to the accounts page now. We will start, let's actually preview this because the file, if you look at it, the file is where the audio is located. So um, again, you can remove all these existing conditions because we don't really need to keep track of this type thing here. So you can remove all these conditions, or maybe, uh, or you can just maybe say, or if the type is not mentioned, because we're not really mentioning the type of the music, so or the audio. So yeah, so that's going to be there. File is file, and I think it should be good enough to start testing it. But well, we need to add one button to actually view our profile. So let's add a button here, and in this button, we'll just display the profile page. We would say the data source is the current user. So here, let's create a button that will take us. This is the accounts page, by the way. So let's say my profile or my website. Again, now this is a very basic tutorial that teaches you how to implement the core functionality. But again, link in the description below if you want to check out how to offer functionality such as customizing sections in the web page, offering changing background and stuff like that. You can change the style of this button however you want to. We'll maybe make this a little bit transparent, like a transparent background, and we'll say. Well, let's define the workflow for this button, which is to take you to the profile page of the current user. Um, so again, current user refers to the person who's logged in. Um, and in this profile page, well, let's remove this background color because that's a little waste. That's just not useful. So we're gonna also put in your profile picture here, or whoever is a person here. So we're gonna display their profile picture here. So we're gonna say insert dynamic data, and we're gonna say current page users profile picture. If you don't see that, it's probably because you've not set the page data type there. So let's actually fix the layout there. Let's make this a little even. So we're gonna fix that up, and then we're gonna center this horizontally and maybe vertically if you want. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to go here, add some roundness so that we have a cool profile picture like thing there. Um, yeah, I guess it looks cool. Let's go ahead and start testing it out. Before that, let's check this icon stuff out because we're going to say, or if the parent group's type is there, then we want to display that icon there. You can remove this icon altogether. It's not necessary, but I'm just saying, okay, well, by default, we want to use that icon. So if the type is empty, we want to test that out. All right. Let's check things out right now. Looks like everything's good to go. On the index page, we have that. So let's go ahead and preview this page now. So let's start from the index page. So over here, let's start first register an account. My name is that, and as you can see, it says error because you can see the type is email. So let's change that to text. We need to refresh this page now. Alright, now we can type in whatever you want, and you can see there's no error being thrown out at me. Now we can choose our picture, and let's choose a picture, and let's add an email, maybe email.com. All this is maybe just basic information that you should actually allow users to change this in the settings, but we're not doing settings in this tutorial. Okay, so now there we are. Let's add a first recording. And it asks me if you want to enable the audio recording. Now I can just say something here, and as you can see here, the button has changed there. So once I'm done with that, I can add a simple message. And then once I do that, first I will recording now. Let's click on add. And then when I click on the button, nothing really happens because we have not defined the workflow to say hide this pop-up. And even in the background, it doesn't really save the thing. So let's go check out what's the problem on the workflow side. Okay, well, on the add side, what we need to do is we want to remove the condition on this add buttons condition there. So let's remove all the conditions that came with the template and let's take this out. Now, so anything that we typed on the any workflow that we added on the button was not really saving. So now when we record it, um, I'm gonna click on add. It doesn't really do anything. Um, because the add workflows are executing, but it is not really doing anything. It's not even saving anything. That's because, well, even on my profile, it doesn't save anything. That means the button, I mean, the workflows are being executed, but something's a problem. It's not being saved, actually. So the problem, if you know already, is you have to disable this checkbox that says you should not be empty. Because the audio field is actually from a third-party component, maybe. So we first want to start this now. Now the audio, I can say something, and once I'm done with that, I can stop it and type something, click on add. And as you can see here, I also added a workflow to hide that pop-up. So now I can, when I play it, nothing really happens. Oh, really? So it saved the data, but it didn't save any audio. So let's go back to add here. Maybe the workflow is wrong for that, and the reason is when you go here, the what we need to do here is we need to actually upload the content from that audio recorder, okay, onto this file here. So we're gonna say upload the content and then save that data onto this file dataset, and now it should work perfectly well. Now let's go to the profile page here and allow the user to share their profiles. Let's add a button here to their profile, and let's change this button to share, and let's create a pop-up where we can display the link to their profile, that or and also buttons to share their links to their social media so they can share on Facebook, whatever other networks you want to. So this button will trigger the pop-up. So we will create a pop-up here with the information to share this page with their friends and family. So we're gonna say share and make this the header. So I say share page, and maybe the style is center title medium, and we're gonna center this. And we're gonna also I'm sorry, add a input box to let the user display the link to just this page, because the page is viewing is the link to this website. You can check out a tutorial on Bubble forums where you can create subdomains and stuff like that. So for example, if the username is John, it could be vblogger.com/John. If you want to do something like that, there are some tweakings that you need to do. There is actually an article, or not an article, a forum post on this. If you like to do this, the link will be in the description below. Um, for the time being, I'm just going to say the content format is going to be current user's link, and I'm going to just throw him to this page here, which is current page user's link. Now, we're also going to add a button to hide this pop-up, and let's put this in the center, and let's also maybe add a couple of social media links, because oh well. So first hide this pop-up here, and there you go. Let's hide this pop-up, and yeah, there we go. So let's make this a little consistent. Let's have a consistent design pattern. um, Again, so if you want additional steps, there are some tips and some additional tutorials that can help you. Now this share button, we will we will be used to will be this button will be used to share anything you want, any string of text. So the text on the top will be sharing the link to this page. So we can enable, disable whatever social media we want to allow people to share in. Um, so, but the value of this on the top, the page link will be whatever is the person's name, his profile name, and or his website name, and the URL will be the value of that text box or the input box. All right. So now the share page is complete and people can share. And also now we want to open this pop-up when they do so. So now when they click on this button, it will show the pop-up, and that's it. So let's check this out. So we're going to share this. We get this profile, and you can also click on these buttons to share. That's it, guys. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video. And I shall see you guys in another video tutorial project very soon. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.